Two people can both invest in the U.S. stock market, yet experience entirely different financial realities. One spends 10 years constantly checking his phone, sweating over flashing red and green charts and chasing hot stocks he found on Reddit. He is constantly stressed, pays massive short-term capital gains taxes, and after a decade of exhaustion, his account is essentially flat. The other person quietly automates $500 a month into broad index funds. She almost never watches the financial news. She doesn't know what the Federal Reserve did this morning, and she doesn't care. Decades later, she is quietly sitting on a portfolio worth well over $700,000. The difference between them is not intelligence. It is not insider knowledge. It is boredom. The biggest Wall Street secret is that there is absolutely no secret at all. If you invest $500 a month at an 8% average annual return for 30 years, you contribute exactly $180,000 of your own money from your paychecks. But because of the math of compounding, you could end up with approximately $740,000. That is over $500,000 in pure, effortless growth. You do not achieve this because you found a magic stock. You do not achieve this because you timed the market perfectly during a recession. You achieve this because you repeated a boring system long enough for the mathematics of compound interest to do their job. Today, we are going to break down exactly how to build that machine. I call it the boring wealth system. It is not a get-rich-quick scheme. It is a get-wealthy-reliably blueprint. A quick disclaimer before we begin. This is educational content, not personal financial advice. Your individual taxes, risk tolerance, income, and personal situation matter, so always do your own research. If you are tired of running on the financial treadmill and feeling like your paycheck disappears the moment you get it, here are the exact steps to build quiet, lasting wealth. Step 1. Save first before America gets paid. The absolute foundation of the boring wealth system starts with one non-negotiable rule. Pay yourself before the world gets paid. Think about how the average American handles their paycheck. The moment that direct deposit hits their checking account on a Friday morning, the cash immediately flows outward to everyone else. Before they even process that they got paid, the money is gone. Amazon takes a cut. DoorDash takes a cut. The landlord gets $2,000. The auto loan takes $700. The streaming subscriptions, the gym membership they never use, and the credit card minimum payments eat the rest. They look at the tiny fraction of money left over at the end of the month and say to themselves, okay, I'll save and invest whatever is left. But there is never anything left. This is due to a behavioral economic principle similar to Parkinson's law. Our expenses will naturally rise to meet our available income. If the money is sitting in your checking account, you will find a reason to spend it. To escape this trap, you must completely flip the script. You have to treat your investing contribution like your most strict, non-negotiable monthly bill. You are literally paying the most important creditor in your life, your future self. How do you actually do this? You set up an automatic transfer with your bank or your brokerage account that triggers on the exact day you get paid. If you get paid on the 1st and the 15th, your investments are automatically purchased on the 2nd and the 16th. If you can only start with $25 or $50 a paycheck, do it anyway. The behavioral habit of paying yourself first matters far more than the dollar amount on day one. Move your money first and force your lifestyle to adapt to what remains. If you never see the money in your checking account, you cannot spend it. Step 2, kill the debt that eats your future. You cannot build wealth if your money is constantly flowing backward. Do not invest as if your financial house is stable if the foundation is currently on fire. Before you start aggressively funneling thousands of dollars into the stock market, you need a small $1,000 to $2,000 cash buffer. Once you have that tiny safety net, you must ruthlessly attack high-interest toxic debt. Credit card debt is the exact mathematical opposite of compound interest. It is compound interest working against you. Let's look at the numbers. A $5,000 credit card balance at a 25% annual percentage rate, APR, is an absolute financial emergency. If you only make the minimum payments on that card, it will take you years to pay off, and you will bleed thousands of dollars in pure interest directly into the pockets of a bank. That interest entirely wipes out any 8% or 10% gains you could possibly make in the stock market. You cannot outinvest a 25% interest rate. Furthermore, you must beware of lifestyle inflation hiding as normal consumer debt. In America today, it is completely normalized to carry a massive car loan. But a $750 monthly car payment does not just cost you $750. You have to factor in the opportunity cost. If you took that same $750 a month and invested it into a broad index fund, earning an 8% average return for 20 years, it could grow to over $400,000. Over 30 years, it approaches $1 million. When you finance a heavily depreciating asset just to look wealthy while waiting at a red light, you are not just buying a car. You are literally giving away hundreds of thousands of dollars of your future freedom. Drive a reliable, affordable car and invest the difference. Step 3, buy broad. Not exciting. Once the toxic, high-interest debt is completely gone, where do you actually put your money to make it grow? The boring wealth system relies entirely on broad, diversified assets, not the adrenaline rush of picking individual stock winners. First, start with your employer. If your company offers a 401k match, that is your absolute priority. Let's say you make $60,000 a year, and your company offers a 4% match. If you contribute $2,400, they will give you another $2,400 for free. That is a guaranteed, immediate 100% return on your investment. There is nowhere else on earth you can legally get a guaranteed 100% return. If you ignore your 401k match, you are flat out refusing a portion of your own compensation. From there, depending on your income and situation, you should look into tax-advantaged accounts, like a Roth IRA or a health savings account, HSA. A Roth IRA allows your money to grow completely tax-free, meaning when you pull the money out in retirement, the government cannot touch your growth. Inside those accounts, what do you buy? You want to buy the entire market, not trade individual pieces of it. This is where we need to make a very clear distinction that most beginners get wrong. If you own broad, diversified index funds, like an S&P 500 index fund or a total stock market index fund, market drops can actually be a massive opportunity when the overall market drops by 20%. It is like the entire U.S. economy is on sale. Because index funds hold hundreds of the top companies, they are naturally self-cleansing. If a company fails, it drops out of the index and is replaced by a growing one. Therefore, for broad index funds, the ideal holding period is often measured in decades. You simply keep buying consistently, regardless of what the news says. But be incredibly careful. Not every falling stock is a bargain. If you are buying individual stocks, buying the dip can be incredibly dangerous. Some individual stocks fall because the underlying business is actually deteriorating, losing market share, or going bankrupt. That is exactly why the boring wealth system focuses on broad index funds. It completely removes your emotional attachment to a single brand, and it eliminates the risk of a single company destroying your portfolio. Step 4, raise your income the boring way. We have talked a lot about saving and investing, but there is a mathematical limit to frugality. You can only cut your expenses so much before your quality of life hits zero. However, your earning potential is virtually limitless. People constantly throw around the phrase invest in yourself, but it has become an empty cliche. Investing in yourself does not mean endlessly buying random motivational books or paying for thousands of dollars in shady online mastermind courses that teach you nothing. It means deliberately learning a hard, verifiable skill that can physically raise your income in the real marketplace. We are talking about concrete skills that businesses are desperate to pay for: enterprise sales, data analysis, project management, basic coding, public speaking, or mastering AI tools to double your daily productivity. Look directly at your specific industry. What is the bottleneck? What makes someone highly paid in your field? A $500 professional certification that gives you the leverage to negotiate a $7,000 raise at your next annual review is a mathematically superior investment to chasing a random penny stock you found on a message board. Treat your career as your primary wealth-building engine, especially in your 20s and 30s. Read books on negotiation. Learn how to quantify the value you bring to your employer. When you raise your value, you increase your income. But the secret of the boring wealth system is this. When you get that $7,000 raise, you do not upgrade your apartment. You do not buy a new car. You funnel that new additional money directly into your investments. That is how you accelerate the math. Step 5, protect the system. At this point, you have automated your savings, you have killed your high-interest debt, you are buying broad index funds, and you are actively raising your income. You have built a powerful financial machine. Now, you have to protect that system from collapsing when life inevitably goes wrong. In America, financial disasters do not happen on a schedule. One $5,000 health insurance deductible from a broken arm, one busted car transmission, or one sudden corporate layoff can completely wreck your entire year if you do not have liquid cash. If you are forced to put a $4,000 emergency on a 25% APR credit card, you are right back in the debt trap. You need a fully funded emergency reserve. Calculate your absolute bare-bones living expenses. This means your rent, basic groceries, essential utilities, and minimum debt payments. Cut out the dining out and subscriptions. If your bare-bones survival expenses are $3,500 a month, your 3-month emergency fund target is $10,500. Do not keep this money in a traditional checking account making 0.01% interest. Keep that money in a high-yield savings account, HYSA. If a HISA is paying around 4% or 5%, that $10,000 can earn you roughly $400 to $500 a year before taxes. Completely risk-free, while keeping your cash completely liquid and accessible within days. Finally, you must protect your system from bad social influences. You become the exact average of the 5 people you surround yourself with. The pressure to keep up with the Joneses is one of the greatest wealth destroyers in the middle class. If your social circle constantly pressures you to blow your paycheck on expensive weekend drinks, takes out loans for luxury vacations, or mocks the idea of living on a budget, their bad financial habits will slowly become your bad habits. Guard your environment fiercely. Surround yourself with people who prioritize future freedom over temporary status. Step 6, buy freedom, not status. What is the ultimate point of all this boring discipline? Why are we delaying gratification, skipping the luxury car, and automating our money into accounts we cannot touch for decades? It is not to buy a massive 2-0-room mansion, a private jet, or a fleet of sports cars. Those things are often just highly expensive burdens that keep you trapped, working 60 hours a week just to maintain them. Money gives you options. It is the ultimate tool for buying back your time. It lets you walk away from a toxic, abusive job without panicking about how you will pay rent. It lets you cover a massive medical bill without going into crippling credit card debt. It allows you to survive an economic recession or a company layoff with your dignity intact. Money buys you the freedom to choose what you do, when you do it, and who you do it with. Wealth is built by adhering to boring money rules. Save first before America gets paid. Kill your high-interest debt. Automate broad index investing. Strictly avoid lifestyle inflation. Raise your income with real skills. And give compounding enough time to do its quiet job. Are you ready to stop watching financial videos and actually start building? Here is your concrete, step-by-step 7-day action plan to implement the boring wealth system today. Day 1. Audit your spending. Log into your bank. Pull up your last 3 full months of bank statements and credit card statements. Go through line by line. Categorize your spending into fixed needs, variable needs, and dumb spending. Face the brutal reality of exactly where your money is leaking out. Day 2. Set up auto transfer. Go into your banking app or your employer's HR portal right now. Set up an automatic transfer for your exact payday. Route a specific dollar amount directly into a separate savings or investment account. Start with $25 or $50 if you are scared. Automate the habit of paying yourself first. Day 3. Make a debt list. Grab a pen. Write down every single piece of debt you owe. Note the total remaining balance, the minimum monthly payment, and the exact APR, interest rate. Pick a strategy, either the avalanche method, attacking the highest interest rate first to save the most money, or the snowball method, attacking the smallest balance first for a psychological win. Make a plan. Day 4. Set an emergency fund target. Calculate your exact 3 months of bare bones expenses based on the math you did on day 1. Open a high-yield savings account, HYSA, if you don't have one, and make hitting this exact cash. Target your number 1 financial priority before investing. Day 5. Check your retirement accounts. Log into your work portal and check if you are getting your full 401k match. If you are leaving free money on the table, increase your contribution today. If you do not have a 401k, research your eligibility for a Roth IRA at a major brokerage like Vanguard, Fidelity, or Charles Schwab. Day 6. Remove spending triggers. Go to your email and unsubscribe from retail newsletters. Unfollow brands and influencers on social media that make you feel inadequate and make you want to buy things. Delete saved credit card numbers from your phone's autofill to create physical friction before a purchase. Cancel at least 1 unused monthly subscription. Day 7. Write down your specific why. Do not just write down a generic goal, like I want to be rich. Write down a highly specific emotional goal. I want $15,000 in cash so a corporate layoff doesn't destroy my family. Or I want to stop carrying this $5,000 in credit card debt so I can finally quit this toxic job and sleep at night. Tape that piece of paper to your bathroom mirror so you see it every single morning. If you found value in this systematic approach and want to continue learning how to build quiet, massive wealth without the confusing Wall Street jargon, please hit that subscribe button. We have a lot more practical strategies to discuss. And before you click away to another video, I want to hear your commitment for the week. Which of the 7 steps in the action plan are you going to tackle first today? Drop a comment down below, and let's hold each other accountable to doing the boring work. Thank you for watching, and I will see you in the next one.